Hey family, welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys for everything. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for your comments. I absolutely am encouraged by it, and I do plan on continuing to give you more valuable information on digital marketing, how to make money online, and how to continue to grow your business, especially in the AI space, right? So please continue to like, comment, and share on all of the videos. I really appreciate it, you guys. It's definitely going to be able to get it out there to the people who are really in need of this information. But enough said. So on today's episode, I really want to be discussing AI and Pinterest, right? And the power of using Pinterest if you're trying to grow any type of industry, whether you're in e-commerce, fashion, blogging, cooking, design. Pinterest is absolutely a platform that you need to be utilizing to be able to grow your brand, right? There are people who are using pins. They're pinning maybe 100+ pins a day, and they're making over $100,000 on Pinterest. Believe it or not, Pinterest is an absolutely huge platform that a lot of people underutilize. That I really think you guys need to look into, right? So, enough said with that. I'll see you guys on the laptop. Again, I want to thank you guys, and I hope you enjoy this lesson. Awesome, guys. Here we are on the lab tippity tap. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing great, and I hope you enjoy this lesson. Right, so I really want to discuss how to turn Pinterest into a money-making machine. I mean, I know there's a lot of other YouTubers who are discussing this, and it's because it's for a reason, right? Pinterest is really a valuable platform that you can use to be able to reach, an audience that potentially are interested in what you have to offer, right? A lot of people underutilize Pinterest. They really think it's just for cooking. I mean, yes, it's mainly women on the platform, but there are also men on the platform too, right? So if your demographic is women, right, and your services that you're providing are for women, then this is a platform that you need to be on, right? Outside of TikTok, IG, Facebook, and YouTube itself. So we're just going to explore some practical strategies, right, for generating income through Pinterest. Like I mentioned, there are people who are on Pinterest now, pinning from 50 pins to 100 pins, maybe even more a day, right, to be able to generate and drive in traffic to their blogs, to their landing pages, to their recipe books, right? So you can definitely do the same and be able to grow your business. Right, so for those of us who don't or have not been on Pinterest, I mean, you must have been living underneath a rock, because Pinterest has been around for a while, but it's understanding the potential, right? Pinterest has a visual search engine, and its search engine has been increasing rapidly throughout the years, right? If you were to go to Pinterest trends, threads, I'm thinking about something else. If you go to trends, Pinterest trends, you'll see a huge volume of a lot of the things that are already trending on Pinterest, whether it be years past or currently, right? Pinterest functions as a powerful visual engine where, users actively seek inspiration. So again, if you have a business, let's say you're a designer, right, and you're servicing designers, you want to be able to be on Pinterest to be able to service, and show people the kind of designs that you can create, right? To be able to drive them to, again, your landing page, a call to action to grow your, to potentially get a sale, right? It has content longevity. Once you put pins up on Pinterest, they last there for a very long time, years even, right? So it's just a matter of kind of continuing to put up pins, right? Because you want to stay top of mind, right? It's all about attention. Whoever gets the most attention wins. I know you've heard that phrase before. So you want to be able to keep content, that is relevant, but also, the content that you put up there has a significantly long lifespan compared to other platforms, right? Whereas you do a Snapchat, snap, and that's it, right? It's gone, So Pinterest is definitely powerful when it comes to that. And then the engaged demographics, like I said, it's primarily women, 25 to 54, who are household decision makers. You want to be where the decision makers are at, right? It's kind of like the buyer keywords. You want to look for buyer keywords because those are the people who are interested to pull out their wallet, pull out their credit card and purchase something. So if you're, again, creating something that is just for, or not creating, but just providing something that is for women or this demographic, this is where you want to be, right? So by understanding these unique features, you can tailor your approach, right, to maximize your success on this dynamic platform. Pinterest is extremely powerful, right? So creating engaging pins, there are a number of different AI tools. mainly Canva. A lot of people go to Canva because you get to really control, right, the pin that you're creating on Canva. So Canva would be my first suggestion. You definitely want to be on Canva. You want to create some really engaging pins, and be able to make sure that it is in line with the business and the brand that you're trying to create, so that again, everybody, it's so cohesive, right? I'm always going to say that in a lot of these courses, a lot of these lessons, because you want to be cohesive. You don't want to be outside of your brand. Look at Target, look at Walmart, look at Shein, look at any one of these other brands. They're always cohesive, right? Because it creates brand recognition, right? Then it also helps you to SEO optimize your keywords, right? And the search terms that people are typing in, it's going to be able to come up for the things that you want them to come up for, right? It just makes things so much easier. And then it has the visual appeal. Like, you're going to be on Canva, you're going to be creating these engaging pins, that are just amazing, right? It's going to be scroll stopping. So you want to be able to just grab that person's eyes and attention right away, to be able to have them click on your link, read what you have to offer, and then maybe potentially purchase, right? So to capture attention on Pinterest, visually appealing and engaging pins are essential. Clear, vibrant colors, just the visuals. That's what's going to keep people engaged. Similar to like on TikTok or on IG, a really interesting topic, it keeps a person engaged, or really a grabbing hook, keeps a person engaged. Transfer that into a visual image. A grabbing hook is like a visual image for some person on Pinterest. Also, Pinterest also has videos too, so you can definitely create videos, right, of the things that the process of how you've done this, of how you put this all together. People love to see that, right? So you want to incorporate relevant keywords, right? This improves your visibility in the search term. Remember, Pinterest platform is a search engine, right? It's like a Google, it's like a YouTube, right? It has its own search engine inside, so you want to be able to have those SEO keywords correctly inputted, right? So here's some monetization strategies. Affiliate marketing. If let's say you're on Pinterest because you're that your audience is 25 to 54, they're all women, and you have an offer. It could be a diet, it could be clothes, it could be whatever it may be, but you know that this offer is for this demographic, right? You could become an affiliate. You can have affiliate marketing links that you're sending people to from these visually created amazing pins that you did on Canva, right? You can be selling your own digital products. It could be an ebook, it could be a recipe book, it could be a checklist, it could be your Etsy store, right? It could be a Shopify store, right? You can be doing courses, right? So you're going to be, make sure, again, this is all directed to the demographic that's on the platform. Not to say that there are no men on there, but it already said that it's mainly women, right? So you just want to make sure you're targeting your audience accordingly. Like I mentioned, courses, services, anything that is going to be able to help the individuals that you're targeting, right? So these strategies are going to allow you to monetize your Pinterest presence effectively, right? It's really having the right strategy and having in mind the correct target audience. It's really key, right? It's not helpful if you're just sending them out a bunch of random different things. This is where AI can help. You can type into ChatGPT, you can type into Claude AI, Gemini, and ask it what are some of the things relevant to your industry, that you can start to promote on Pinterest. That's going to be able to, help people gravitate to your brand, right? This is where AI is another great tool to utilize. So building a following, right? Pinterest is another community-based platform, right? It's not just, besides it being a search engine in itself, besides it being, visually appealing pins, besides it, overall, name the next one, whatever, fill in the blank, it's a community, right? So you can build a following on Pinterest and then move that following to, another platform if you wanted to, or, direct them to your storefront, right? That to whatever your services are or whatever products you're selling. So consistent pinning. That's something I mentioned before, right? So you want to consistently pin. You want to be top of mind, right? Being top of mind meaning what you want that attention. And by you consistently pinning, Pinterest is always going to have you in their rotation of pins that are going out in that day, and you're going to be seen, right? Your brand is going to be recognized. You want that engagement, right? You want to be able to respond to comments, to build that community. Again, it's a community-based kind of platform. So you want to be able to build that and drive people again to down the funnel to wherever you want to send them to, right? Collaboration. There's a lot of other pinners out there. That's what they're called, Pinterest pinners. You could potentially collaborate with. Now, you can repurpose a lot of these collaborations, right? Now this can turn into podcasts, right? Now this can turn into snippets that you can have on TikTok, on IG, right? Now this can turn into a blog post. Now you see how you can repurpose a lot of this, and this is going to be evergreen content that you can always create, right? Once you start to build it up once, then it's just going to be able to expand like branches or roots, of the tree, of the seed that you planted. Right? Group boards. There are a lot of different group boards that are out there. You can join them if they're relevant, again, to your brand or relevant to your services, so that you can increase your exposure, right? It's all about, again, getting that attention, increasing exposure, getting that attention, increasing exposure, right? Because you want to grow the following of this community that you're trying to build to be able to come to, again, to whatever services or products that you're trying to sell, right? So growing a loyal audience requires strategic consistency. Like I mentioned, you want to be consistent. Yeah, I know it's difficult to be consistent yourself. This is where AI tools come into play, right? So don't think that, okay, yeah, you have to literally sit at Canva every day and be pinning 10 to 50 pins, right? No, this is where AI tools come into play, but you have to do the work, right? It's not going to just get done for itself. So you want to be able to boost your exposure by sharing pins with a wider audience, right? When you're dealing with, when you're collaborating, when you're engaging, when you're joining group boards as such, right? So this is how you're going to be able to grow your business. So analyzing some of the performance, right? Again, Pinterest is a search engine platform, right? You're going to have a back office. Once you sign up to Pinterest, you sign up as a business account, right? You're going to have a back office. It's going to show you which pins are getting more traffic than others, which keywords are getting more traffic than others. So you get to analyze a lot of this, right? This is just some of the KPIs you want to be paying attention to, key performance indicators that's going to be able to help you, right? So 1,000 pins, impressions, visibility for your pins, 250 clicks. These are some of the things you want to be looking at when it comes to analyzing your business, right? I just wanted to put in some, estimated indicators that can be able to help you, because that's how you at least have an idea of how some of the things you need to be paying attention to when you're looking at, your key performance indicators, right? Clicks, engagement, saves, right? Now, these are some of the things you want to keep in mind, because by utilizing Pinterest analytics, again, like I mentioned, the back office, it's essential for tracking. Allow me to move my face out the way. Who's that handsome guy? Oh, it's me. Anyway, it's going to allow you to track, essential for tracking performance, through key metrics like impressions, mentioned clicks, saves, and engagement rates, right? Regular reviewing of these metrics help identify which pins resonate the most with your audience and which strategies you need to adjust, right? It's really important, like I mentioned, about strategies. You need to know which strategies work the best. Sometimes you have to iterate, right? Sometimes you need to pivot. You can't just think that this, I've learned this and this is what's going to work, right? Many times I've gone to YouTube, I've watched the videos, I've tried their strategy, it didn't work for me, but it worked for other people. I went to another one, tried their strategy, it didn't work for me, but it worked for other people. So what I started doing is incorporating different strategies, right? So I'll take a piece of this one, I'll take a piece of this one, I'll take a piece of that one, create my own strategy, and now this one works for me, right? So that's a potential approach I would suggest that you guys need to take if one doesn't work, right? It doesn't mean that it doesn't work. It just may not work for your industry. So I would suggest, continue to learn, continue to grow, don't stop at one thing, and just, add and subtract, Right, so here's some next steps for success, on Pinterest, right? Again, Pinterest is primarily simple. It really is just about doing the work, right? And staying consistent. I think that's like the hardest thing when it comes to Pinterest for a lot of people, staying consistent and doing the work, because it takes time, right? This is not an overnight success kind of thing. If you're looking for, to make money tomorrow with Pinterest, I have to tell you that this is not it, but it is a long-term strategy, right? You will definitely see something 3, 6, 12 months down the road if this is a part of the strategy that you have in your marketing plan, right? In your overall marketing plan. So you want to implement strategies, right? Apply the monetization methods. And I've discussed, if you're going to do affiliate marketing, if you're creating courses, if you're selling products, decide on what you're going to be doing. You want to maintain consistency. Again, this is, this it has to be cohesive across the board, right? Regularly pinning a schedule, continuously engaging with your audience, talking. People love to engage with real people. Like you guys I'm engaging with you guys, right? This is me. This is Jason. That's my name. And so I'm engaging with you guys authentically. This is, who I am. Other people want to do that too, right? I mean, yeah, you can do AI from time to time, right? Like I do AI sometimes. I do AI shorts, this and the third. I mean, what may have you, but it still will never get as much traction as seeing a real person. So you want to analyze and adapt, right? So analyze some of the strategies that you have implemented, like I mentioned, and if it's not working, adapt, right? Just pivot, all right? Do something else, try something else, test something else. You always want to keep testing to find out what's the one that is beneficial and benefiting your business overall strategy, right? So these are some of the things I just definitely want you to keep in mind when you come to monetizing. So here are some of the best AI tools when it comes to Pinterest, because I know some of the, like I mentioned about being consistent, the pinning, creating pins, it becomes a little cumbersome. What I don't have here is Canva, because everybody talks about Canva. So I should hope that you already know about Canva. Canva is the go-to when it comes to anything digital marketing and creatives. Like it really is just like it's the mothership out there. So this is just some other ones that can benefit you while you're growing your business. So you have Brand 24, right? What was the purpose of it? It's a keyword and topic research tool. So if you're on Pinterest and you want to utilize it for SEO, search terms, and you want to be able to dive into Pinterest platform, I definitely recommend this to use, right? It features some it tracks online mentions of keywords across Pinterest and other platforms, right? So you can find out what's trending and what are some of the keywords you may want to be able to create pins around, as well as a blog around, maybe have a product that you're selling around, maybe create a course around. These are the things that you could definitely utilize it for. What are the benefits, right? It helps to optimize pin titles, the descriptions with high performing keywords, which is really important, and that's how you grow on Pinterest. Then you have Tailwinds, right? Tailwinds is another one that's been around the block for a very long time. I've used it in the past. Grew a platform, from like nothing to 100,000 views a month, right? Before I started doing other things. This is when I was in my testing phase, but it works fantastically, right? You can pin a number of different pins within the day to grow your platform, to grow your community. So Tailwinds is definitely, if you're looking for the automation, this is what I was mentioning about before. Once you create the pins, you don't have to worry about sitting there and having to pin it yourself, right? You have an AI tool that's going to be able to automate and schedule all of those pins that you can do for the week, the month, right? What I used to do is do blocks. So I'll pick a Saturday, I'll pick a Sunday, I'll pick a Friday, create all of my pins, then I'll just schedule them out for the week, or or create a number of pins throughout the week where I can schedule it out for the month, right? This way you don't have to worry about that aspect of the business. You can start putting your other parts of the business hats on so that you can start paying attention to, right? This is where ChatGPT and DeepSeek comes in. You can use these tools to create the pin ideas, right? You may have to create the images, but as of lately, actually, ChatGPT has implemented an image portion, right, to this software. They have updated that, so now you can create images. You can ask it to create a pin image of whatever it is that you're discussing, and see if it's something that you like, and then from there you can create multiple of these, implement them into Tailwind. I used Brand 24 for the keywords, and now you're off to the races. Jasper AI. It's another AI, for overcoming creative writer's block. It's similar to ChatGPT, but if you want something different that's unique just for writing, right? It's not just for everything, because ChatGPT is kind of like general, it's for everything, right? So if you want something that's specific for just writing, Jasper AI is another one that's been around the block and it's pretty good. Pinterest trends, right? This is another great one for you to analyze and see what's trending out there. A lot of times when you go to Pinterest trends, you see nails. Nails is always popping, right? Nails, designs, it's seasonal. Sometimes, depending on the occasion, it could be Halloween, it could be Easter. Like right now, It's close to, I mean, we're in April when I'm recording this, so Easter is really hot. You know, Easter items, Easter eggs. I mean, anything that revolves around Easter. That's another thing. If you're in seasonal creatives, right? You create something for the season, right? For the seasonal occasion, I should say. So you can create things like that. That works amazing on Pinterest because people always go to Pinterest to find something for that season, right? Find ideas. So if you're one that is creative in that manner, oh man, you can really kill it on Pinterest, right? Amplify is another Pinterest scraper, right? So it's a data extraction tool, right, that extracts profiles and pins just to see what your competition is doing out there, right? So it's pretty much for competition, you know, just create metadata, pin details and user profiles, you know, from your competitors or your influencers in the industry to see what they're doing, not to copy them, but to potentially, you know, utilize their methods so that you can, you know, put it into your strategies so you can grow your business just as fast as they have. Right, you got to see what's out there sometimes to be able to know exactly which direction you need to go. DALL-E, you know, or Stable Fusion, that does really good for visual pins, you know, pin creation. Also put in Canva in there too, right? Canva is another one where you have some really good imagery that you can add to that. And, you know, again, use this for imagery. You use ChatGPT or DeepSeek for content, or Jasper AI. You know, then you use Pinterest trends or Brand 24 for keywords to see what's out there, what's trending. You know, you just kind of incorporate all of these to be able to help you to grow your business. All right. You also have SEMrush, right? You know, it's been around the block. Another keyword, a competitive tool like Brand 24. You have Pinterest Analytics. Right, this is some of the things that you can use for brand performance tracking and things of that nature. So yeah, there's a lot of AI different tools that you can definitely use to be able to grow your business. You know, here's a list of them right here. Take a snapshot and use it to grow your Pinterest. Right, there's nothing that's stopping you other than yourself, right? Because Pinterest out there, it's a fantastic platform if you're in the industry of, you know, like I mentioned, fashion, e-commerce, digital marketing, creating courses. You know, again, the demographic is for women primarily, but there are also men there, right? So I really hope you guys enjoyed this really quick overview of, you know, why you should be using Pinterest and the importance of it. I hope you guys are crushing it. You know, here's another great video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, please like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.